I'm hearing like echoing. What is that from? Thanks. How are you? Yeah, that's what happened to me on day one. I always do this. I end up like accidentally burning out too quick. The first like week. I haven't even I'm already in debt with Inktober. I was supposed to do it, it got really late, and I was like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then now it's late again. Yeah, I know, right? Thanks. That's That's kind of my issue. Like, I tend to go ham. I was like, I'm just gonna do a sketch, and then I get really excited about it, and then I end up like, yeah, I'm gonna make a full-blown painting. It'll be awesome. And then I'm like, oh no, I made a standard for myself. This is what I have to do every time now. And then I get burnt out, and then it's over. I stop after like a few days. Yeah. I think, like, I know it's about developing habits, like good habits and stuff, but I don't know. I have this thing where I just want to have it feel finished. Maybe it's my OCD or something, but like, it feels uncomfortable when I don't have something finished. Nice. I kind of miss using gouache. It'd be nice if I could get back into that. It's a nice fast medium. I like gouache because it's very opaque and I used to use markers. So it's kind of like painting with the consistency and the fast dryingness of watercolor, only with just the opacity of a marker where it just lays things down in a nice non-translucent way. It's kind of like painting with acrylic, but with the fluidness of watercolor. Yeah, it kind of depends on what you're going for. I feel like watercolors are also nice, depending on, I guess, the look you're going for. If you want something a little bit more softer looking and more looser, then definitely like watercolor is nice. I think gouache is more almost like a graphic designy type of tool. Like I remember a lot of like going to art school and stuff. All the graphic design courses I needed to take, they all used gouache when concepting logos and things like that. But that might be old school now. Yeah, when I went to school, it was a really, really long time ago. Like, those courses I took, I think it was like 2003. And even though they taught Illustrator and stuff, eventually, it's just all the foundational courses they were using things like gouache or whatever. The first courses you take when you start learning like color theory and stuff. But then again, my school wasn't the greatest, so who knows if that was a good method. Ah, dang it. Well, I want to win at that my school is probably shittier than yours, but maybe not. I don't know. I went to the Art Institute of Seattle. Where the only requirements is that you could pay their ridiculously expensive tuition. Why is this looking weird? They're fed on tears. I remember having an art teacher that was very like jealous of his brother being more successful than him in art. And we only knew this because he wouldn't stop talking about it and how he hates his brother. And that his brother's so famously rich and that he hates him. So I'm like, wow, what a weird class. Alright, I guess this is what I'm learning. Personal issues is what I'm learning today. But yeah, it was like this guy. He was more he liked doing fine art stuff, but he taught some digital art tools. But I swear it's like every day he would just talk about how his brother was this graphic designer and that no one should be like him. It's like, I don't know, it was weird. Shouldn't be like him. He makes a lot of money and stuff and whatever, but he's an asshole and all his stuff sucks. So don't be like him, where he sucks. Don't suck. So, like, cool. Those are some wise words. Thanks. Is that how that looks? I feel like it wasn't pink on the outside. Yeah, I think it's like this. Or something. I watched the first season as a kid growing up. Well, I mean, it was for little kids. I watched it when I was like in the 4th grade. Like, it was, well, it was also like the only thing on, really, in the morning before you go to school. Also had a very catchy intro song. Why the fudge is this not working? Is it because it's CMYK? No, that's not the reason. Dang. Okay, maybe it is. Okay, I guess I'll just have to deal. I didn't realize some of the blending modes work differently when it's in CMYK. That's a bummer. Means I have to paint this by hand. Ugh. Maybe this one will work. No. Bummer. Okay. Okay, I'll give that a go. Because usually what I do is if I throw down black as my layer, it doesn't brighten everything when I make it linear dodge. So, nope. It makes it even worse when it's 50. Yeah. Like on RBGs, when it's black for color dodge or linear dodge, black is supposed to turn invisible. So, oh well, that's fine. I guess I'll just have to paint all the color techniques by hand, which sucks, but okay. Unless I can convert this a little bit nicer. I don't know. What if I do this? Does that look the same? That looks the same. I wonder if I can just... Because when I had converted the file itself, it went crazy. If I duplicate all this into this one... Oh, I can't duplicate it in a RGB one. Blah. Alright. Interesting. Okay, so it actually won't let me duplicate these over to the untitled one. I don't know. Usually it moves everything over just fine. Right now it's saying it won't let me do it. But I think it's because it's our RGB. Like I'm moving from... Because I have two RGB files here, but it's not letting me choose any of them. So like, let's say if I make a new file and I make it a CMYK and we'll call this blah 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 blah. And so my theory is if I grab all these and I say duplicate layers, yeah, so it only lets me transfer this to either a new file or another file that happens to be based off of CMYK. So that's something I learned today. Alright. What if I what am I looking for? Workspace. I can drop the PSD into here instead. Will it let me do that? Like if I name this something else, okay, I'm gonna drop this in here. Oh wait, now that was dumb. It just shows the document. It doesn't do the layers. I can't unpack this, can I? Export contents? Nope. That was dumb. Well, okay. Okay, let's grab this one instead. Take this duplicated file mode. RGB. Okay. Gross. Okay. How do I make this not gross? I wonder if I can salvage this. Okay, where are all the problems coming from? Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, so damn. Even overlay works differently in CMYK. Alright. Good to know. Let's see, what is this? Multiply. Is that looking kind of similar? Fuck it. I'm just gonna use what I was working on. Alright, thanks for hanging out, dude. Peace. I guess business. This is for convention stuff. I make these little collector cards. Where basically like the whole idea is like making these collector cards that are kind of geared towards girls. Like growing up, I had a bunch of like the only people my age were my cousins who were male and stuff, and they would always collect like X-Men cards or baseball cards or things like that, and there wasn't really anything cool geared towards like someone like me. It's just like go play with some dolls or whatever. So and I always thought their cards were cool. It was one of the things that made me enjoy like different art. Like all the cool comic book X-Men collectible cards or whatever. So this was a mistake. Just realized it. Man, alright, that didn't work. Oh, I know how to fix this. There we go. Copy that. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it would be nice if I could get into more selling my own personal stuff rather than kind of relying on fan art, but that's not to say that fan art isn't fun to do. I do enjoy it. That's one of the reasons why I started it too. But can't be too reliant on it. So what's up with you, man? How you doing? Word. Mostly, it it would be nice to know if people bought my art because they like the fact that I did it rather than, oh, I enjoy that IP or something. But I mean, it can be, why not both? I buy tons of fan art from people where I both enjoy their style and the franchise that they're kind of applying their style to. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Step at a time. Or you can do both. From what I hear, things like One Punch Man and stuff like that, like those people didn't start off really good at art, but people really loved the characters, things like that. And that's what kind of drove that comic forward, and then became its own like show, its own force of nature. And I hear that's why he looks so doofy in the anime, but I don't know. That's why I just hear. I never really read up on it. Yeah, dude, like, I tried to paint in a sketchbook for the first time in a long ass time, and it was really sad. I was like, I don't understand. That used to be my jam. And now it's like, oh god, no one look at this. Destroy the evidence, at least paper can burn. Okay. Not like a huge fan of how this piece is turning out, because I started in CMYK, and I feel like it's easier to convert RGB to CMYK than vice versa, and I'm having a hard time painting because it's limiting my use of blending modes. So So lesson learned, but I mean, honestly, this little piece is actually going to be like 3 inches tall. So it's going to be like that big. So no one's going to know, but I'll know. I'll know. And knowing is half the battle. Oh, you mean like real life? Because that kind of sounds like real life. Just kidding. I love turn-based RPGs though. I was pretty late into the game, hahaha, so to speak, like playing them. I never really, well, I mean, I did play like Pokemon Red and Yellow and stuff as a kid, but like the classic Final Fantasies and things like that, I never played those till way later in adulthood. So I actually think, like, if you don't count Pokemon, I think the only turn-based strategy game I ever played was, I mean, RPG wise, was what was it, Lost Odyssey. I was like, this game's amazing. Did they invent this? It's a good game still, but you know, I'm trying to talk Chris into playing it. You're gonna play it, right, Chris? He's not listening to me. As usual. Some friends of mine have got me into that game. I started playing it like a few days ago. I haven't gotten very far. It's a little bit overwhelming for me right now. As far as pacing goes, I'm not like a huge fan of games that kind of just drop a crap ton of like information on you right off like the get-go. So because of this, you know, because I get overwhelmed, whatever. But I'm pushing through it. I like the game and stuff. It has a very, I never played the Fire Emblems before, but I like that whole kind of BioWare storytelling meets XCOM strategy mashup. But I'm mostly just having a hard time with the whole like welcome to the game. Here is 60 people you're going to meet right now. Here you go. Learn everything about us right now. Yeah, I'm not like a big fan of reading in games. It kind of takes me out of the experience when I have to. Like, I'm a slow reader, so part of that's me. But if you're making me read like a novel every time I interact with any character, it kind of takes me out of the mindset of playing. Like, oh, I'm really excited. I'm gonna go forth and be an adventurer, and then it's like, oh wait, hang on, I need to read this thing for like half an hour. So, that's actually one of the reasons why I quit playing Fatal Frame, because it was a scary game, and then I would get like a journal log, and it would be like 20 pages long, and then I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so scared, there's a ghost following me. Oh wait, a journal log. And then it's like, hang on, let me just pause the game for like 8 hours while I read this. So, and it kind of just like sort of killed it for me. But that's me though. I know people like finding as much lore and stuff as they can, so Yeah, what I end up doing is actually watching Let's Plays of games I haven't finished because of that reason, because a lot of those people will end up like reading the content, and like for some reason listening to someone read it feels a little bit more engaging than having to read it myself. I don't know, it's like a audiobook or whatever. Well, okay, so truth is, there were 2 reasons why I didn't finish that game, but it wasn't because it was too scary. I'm just gonna say that. One is the reading. Man, something's stuck in my throat. And 2, I actually got stuck. And where I got stuck was, I was really low on health, and I was like pretty much out of film, like ammo and stuff. And so I went to the well. There's like a well in this game to get to this save point thing. So I make a save point, and right when I finish saving, this ghost comes out of the well, and the ghost is too strong for me. I have no health, I have no film, and it kills me. Now the thing is, because I had saved and it didn't show up until then, like I can't go back to any point before I saw that ghost. So whenever I start off the game, the ghost comes out and it kills me. Restart that save file, ghost comes out, kills me instantly every time. And I was like, well, I can't, I don't want to start over, so fuck this game. So that's what ended up happening. But it was a scary game though. I remember my mom wasn't interested in video games or anything like that, but I was playing that one, and she was like, huh? And then she like sat down. I was playing in my room, and she sat down on my bed to watch me play, and then like the ghost with the backwards neck that comes after you backwards because she has like a broken neck, like my mom like noped the fuck out. She's like, nope, and then she like left the room in a panic. So it's funny because when you look back at that game, it's like that shit looks not good. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks great for the time, but it's not nearly like if she saw the games of today, she'd have to go to like some counselor or therapist to talk about it. No, well, that's good. The latest Fire Emblem, then like again, it's my first Fire Emblem game. Like they have full voice acting, and so far from what I can tell, the voice actors have been really good. So they're not like goofy or anything. Interesting. So I didn't really make it as dark as I wanted it to be. Oh, but then all the characters won't be as dreamy. Actually, that's one of the reasons why ooh, my headphones are going weird. One of the reasons why I stopped playing Mass Effect Andromeda was because at the time, like, it's facial animation setup, like its system, it's where it's scripted to the dialogue and stuff like that was all broken and jacked up and stuff like that. So she was like, my character's emotional expression during very serious moments were very goofy, so it just kind of like pulled me out of it. I mean, it's funny to watch, but I was like invested into the whole Mass Effect story and stuff like that, so it was kind of a disappointment. I heard they fixed it, but I never went back, unfortunately. So, bum deal. It was that, and also there was a lot of again, as I kind of mentioned before, with like having trouble like investing time into the latest Fire Emblem, I can be overwhelmed with games that throw too much information at you in the beginning. And in this case, they sort of did the same thing. Like after you do the tutorial level, they're like, "Oh, here's the like practically the new type of like citadel. Here's the new city. Now go talk to like 85 people or something." And I don't know. It was a little bit too much at the time. I don't know if you're ever in that mindset where you have all these games that you bought on Steam sale, but you don't play any of them. You just play the game that you already know. And the reason being is because you just don't feel like doing a tutorial or something. You just want something familiar. So I was kind of hoping for that. With like just like it would just ease me into the new mechanics and things like that, but it was just like, here's 85 new characters, go talk to them. And I'm like, oh. Like, and I was like instantly forgetting names and things like that, and they're like, go talk to this other person about this, and I'm like, who the fuck is that again? I don't remember. So I was like, oh, I'll just play this some other time, maybe when they fix the animations and stuff. And then I just never did. I just never got back to it. The most dreamy video game character. I'm trying to think of who has the full package. Because there are dreamy looking characters, but they're kind of like really lame characters. I mean, Squall, for instance, good looking character. He's the best looking guy in this whole room. And anyway, but boring as shit. So, like, if you think about, for instance, my romance choices in Mass Effect, it's like I chose Caden because I was like, yeah, I'm totally into human dudes and stuff like that. But I did try the romance path eventually with like Garrus, and I liked that story a lot better. Like, he's adorable personality wise, but his body looks like a fucking cricket, so it's not. So I guess I do have a little bit of shallowness when it comes to that. I'm like, I don't want to look like I'm banging Jiminy Cricket. I don't know. Maybe I'm speciesist, racist, whatever. It's like, bro, you look like a fucking grasshopper. I guess I still haven't answered your question, so I'm just going down the line of dreamy characters. Half dreamy, or maybe I'm picky. Chris is lucky. I'm just kidding. He's not lucky at all. Dreamy characters. Oh, I did like Alistair from Dragon Age Origins. He was cute, both like appearance wise, but also personality wise. He was adorable. Just, I like the shy boys. Shy boys. So, okay, so right now, like thinking off the top of my head, I think Alistair's winning. Trying to think who else. For some reason, I'm like drawing a blank. Maybe I haven't played too many games. Like, I play a lot of strategy games, I guess, these days. Not too many narrative ones, so I don't have a huge reference base to go off of. Like, I haven't even played the Witcher series. I always mean to, but it's a little bit intimidating. Like, intimidating by, like, I hear that it's hundreds of hours of gameplay, and I'm like, oh god. Like, I have a hard time just like playing the games I already bought. So I like shy boys because they're honest. I think, maybe. Unless it's all a ploy. And they're cute. I don't like the, like, I'm a bad boy and you want to tame me. I'm not, like, into that. Don't you want to change me? Make me see all my flaws. Through the power of love, I learned to have a heart of gold. I'm like, no, I'm not into that. That's a lot of work. I will say, like, the first video game character guy I sort of had a crush on was Squall until I played the game. And I'm like, oh, ugh. No thanks. If you're talking about the whole, like, many chicks go for, like, the bad boys in games, like, I'm not into it. I'm like, no. Like, why would you be, like, why you being an asshole would make me, like, all into you? I don't know. Yes, I love it when people treat me like I'm some street hoe. It's great. Love it. Anyway. I also thought Rinoa, or however you say her name, was my female crush for a video game. Okay, not really a female crush so much as I wanted to be her. She had cool wings and, like, magic and shit. She was so cool. Um, Final Fantasy 8. Final Fantasy 8 was one of the first games I viewed uh, as art, I guess. Like, like when I was a kid, I always thought games were just fun, just entertainment. And then when I started seeing all the cinematics and all the trailers for Final Fantasy 8, even though I didn't play it because I didn't own a PlayStation, um, I viewed it as like just art. And, and I would like watch videos, like little music videos people would make, of course, to some sort of fucking Linkin Park song or whatever, but I don't know. I thought everything they did was like really beautiful, and all the characters looked cool. All the special effects and animations were amazing. I don't know, just everything about it, even with marketing and stuff like that, was just really pretty. So yeah, that was my like first video games are artistic thing, inspiration, yes. But yeah, she's the girl with the blue, like, whatever you call that, sweater thing. Asian girl, blue sweater, black shorts, black boots. Love interest of Squall. And then Final Fantasy IX did the same thing. I was like, holy shit, this game looks beautiful. Still never played it because I didn't have a PlayStation, but I was like, I want to work for Square Enix one day. Well, it was Squaresoft back in the day, but I want to work for Squaresoft one day. Oh, that's nice of you to say. I don't really have much interest in working there now, but like, their style and stuff doesn't really match with what I find entertaining to do, as well as, no real desire to like work in Japan or anything like that. But yeah, they definitely pull out some high quality stuff though. All their stuff is still really cool and amazing. So but I don't see myself being a fit. At least not currently. Mm, it's hard to say. Like, I've worked at places that were sort of like goal. I don't want to say dream, but like goal places that I thought would be great, and it ended up not being like for me, kind of thing. Like you have a lot of expectations built up when you idolize a place, and sometimes it, behind the scenes it's not exactly what you thought it was. So, and I think that goes for like a lot of companies for most people, and it kind of depends on what the company really is behind those closed doors, as well as what the workers' actual expectations were. Like, were my expectations actually reasonable, or were they a little unreasonable? Was I expecting too much for a company to fulfill for me as far as like satisfaction goes? So so like, I know a lot of people, it seems like for the most part, a lot of people end up not being fully satisfied at their like dream studio. They definitely enjoy their time there, but they end up moving on eventually. They're not like, yeah, this is it, I'm gonna stay here forever, I'm gonna retire here. It's like they make it, they're excited, and then like maybe after like 2 to 4 years they move on, they find something else, and maybe it's just like taste change or whatever. For whatever reason, they just move on. But and for some people it's not that. Some people are like, yeah, this is the place for me, and they end up working at that place for as long as that place lets them. But that tends to be the rare case. You rarely see people at a studio for like more than 5 years these days. Well, at least for artists. A lot of programmers tend to stay. But for artists, like, it's pretty rare for people to stay more than like a handful of years. I think maybe sometimes they just get, like, especially with like the really big companies, like let's say Halo, for instance, like 343, right? It's like you loved Halo as a kid, you always wanted to, work on it. You start working at 343, you love the people, you love, the coworkers and stuff. But then after like 5 years, you're kind of like, I sort of want to work on something else. I don't want to work on just this one thing now. I want to try something new. So you have a lot of people who like end up leaving for that reason too. So it's not just about like, oh, I don't like it anymore or anything like that. It's just like I feel like I need like a new adventure. So yeah. Anyway, it would be nice to work independently. It would be nice to find a company that is like the dream company, but I don't really know what that is. I don't really know what a company can like reasonably give me that isn't selfish of me. But, I would like to be a person who gets to make whatever they want and make a living out of it. Like, I don't need to be rich and famous. I just want to pay the bills and be able to retire. But if I am able to do that, doing something I enjoy doing, I mean, that's kind of the dream, right? But that's very difficult to find. So whether that comes through independence or working at a company, cool. Also, goals change. When you're younger, I think people are a lot more ambitious. But the older you get, the more life factors seep into your decision. Like if you have kids or family and things like that. Eventually, it's like, oh, well, it's not about like the type of game I make. It's about like what provides for them. Or, for instance, like if you live in America, like healthcare or whatever. Like when you get older, like when you're young, you just, I can stay awake for like 8 days and binge drink and eat junk food all the time and it's totally fine, whatever. But then you hit 30 and you're like, oh shit, I slept with too many pillows under my neck and now I can't move my body and everything is broken. like eventually those concerns happen and you have to pay people to fix you. So that becomes a factor too. Like, true story, I had to call in sick from work because I busted my back and I couldn't move. I couldn't like walk. Well, I could barely walk. I could barely manage to get to the bathroom and stuff like that. But what had happened was I was gonna hang out with some friends and they wanted to play this board game. But it's a really, really heavy board game and it was on a bottom shelf. And so I bent over and picked it up and it like plummeted to the ground and like I picked it up wrong and it like pulled something in my back. So I fucked myself up from trying to pick up a board game and then had to call in sick. So there you go. That's what age does to you. Oh. Chris and I have a friend that worked on Earthworm Jim, right? Hey, Chris. Chris. He's listening to his music, so he cannot listen to me. Yeah. We had a coworker that worked on the original Earthworm Jim. I don't know where what he's working on now, but he's like in London or something. Working on a new project. That's cool. Yeah. It's funny when people find out. Like, we had another coworker. He was just chatting with them. He also worked on Neverhood and stuff like that. And so when our coworker was walking with him with coffee and stuff, he was talking about how he loves like the game Neverhood, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I worked on that too," and he just like the coworker who had talked about Neverhood just like stopped in his tracks and just suddenly couldn't talk to him anymore. He was just like starstruck, and he's like, "Oh shit, did I say something wrong?" He's like, "My God, you worked on Neverhood." It was really funny. But he's a super sweet guy. I like him. It would be nice to work with him again, but he and his wife are cool with like moving from country to country, and I'm like, I think he hit up Chris once about a job, but we were like, yeah, we want to stay in America. Thanks. I think the job was in Europe or whatever. But yeah, I'd be excited to see what he's working on though. He hasn't announced anything. Oh, also I want to add that guy is like forever young. He was talking about all the games he worked on, and he's pretty humble. Like you have to pry this information from him all the time. Like he doesn't just like brag or anything at all. You're just like, I heard you worked on this. Is that true? And then he'll be like, yeah, and then he'll like talk about it or something. But then you realize, like, dang, these games were out when I was like a tiny child. And you realize like he's much older than he looks. He looked like, I don't know. I knew he was like older than me, but like not by a lot, I thought. So I don't know. He has a good attitude though, so I think maybe his sunny disposition like fuels his eternal youth. I don't know. never met Doug, but I'm sure he's this super guy. That's cool. Good for him. I actually didn't own like a video game console till I was like a teenager, like maybe like 15 or 16 or something. I only played video games whenever I was at like my cousin's house, because he collected all the consoles and video games and stuff like that. So I never really got to play Earthworm Jim in its full depth, but I did play a little bit, and it was always aesthetically really cool. Like I was kind of like an early PC gamer though. So I played a lot of games on PC until I was able to afford like the Xbox original and stuff. Oh wait, no, actually, my first console was the Nintendo 64, but not when the Nintendo 64 came out. Like basically, the PlayStation 2 came out, and my parents bought my cousin's Nintendo 64 and just gave it to me for Christmas. They're like, here you go, a brand new console. And it was just like, oh, this is like 6 years old, but cool. So I just played the shit out of it. I was playing all these games that everyone already played, but was just being amazed by it. I'm like, oh, have you ever played Ocarina of Time? This is amazing. Stuff. And they're like, old news, whatever. I'm like, no. It was great. I was actually really, really good at Smash Brothers 64. Like bragging good. Like, hey, I can pretty much beat anyone on Smash Brothers 64. But I didn't own the GameCube or any other Nintendo console after that. So when Smash Brothers like developed and stuff and the controllers changed, I couldn't play it anymore like the way I was used to, and then I just sucked ass. So I was really sad. I was like, oh, this used to be the only like fighting game I was good at. So that was a bummer. Oh, there you go. I still feel like, to me, the greatest consoles would be the Nintendo 64, probably PlayStation 2. And the reason why I say probably is it probably is, but I don't know because I'd never owned one. But it had a lot of games that I had always wanted to play. A lot of like groundbreaking games that now are on like sequel number like 20 and stuff like that. So I think that was a big impactful, influential one. And then Xbox 360. I'm pretty disappointed with like the Xbox One and whatchamacallit, the PlayStation 4. Like all their games have been kind of like not that great, or it's like, oh, I'll just buy this on PC for like way cheaper and it looks better. Well, there you go. But I mean, there's still games that me and Chris play on there that are really fun, but I think Switch is probably leading console wars on that. Oh, thank you. I think I'm almost done. I'm kind of like fiddling around here. Some stuff. I haven't played a lot of Switch games, but I do like the whole travel aspect of it. And when Chris was in the hospital, it was super handy. So, because hospitals are boring. Oh. I think I'm one of the few people that play, I mean, not play, but that do not play mobile games. I try, but it never seems to ever, like, keep my interest. So, like, I heard there's some, like, if anything, I thought maybe I would really like Darkest Dungeon because I like that game in general, but, I ended up not really caring for it because my fatty fingers or something, like, couldn't touch the right things or whatever, and then I would always lose because I would hit one button but it would register as me hitting something else, and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. So I'd get all pissy about that. Yeah, but I kind of wish there were good mobile games because, like, I rather play a game than look at social media because I feel like playing games are healthier. Than when you're, like, sitting on the bus really bored and so you pull out your phone and I'm like, I guess I'll check Twitter or Facebook or whatever, because that's what you end up usually doing if you don't have like a game to play. Or I'm gonna check my email for the 90,000th time. Oh, something that was cool though is kind of going back to like Final Fantasy VIII. There was this really cool game, like in that game, it was a mini game. It was the card game, I think, called Triads or something like that, and it was really fun. Apparently, Chris had liked that in that game too. So I tried to look it up to see if they had a mobile version of it, and they did. So I downloaded it on the iPad. So we've been playing that. That's actually been fun. It's like a sort of like a TCG game. Strategy. But it's old school. This is like one of the old games. Almost done. Just kind of finishing up my line weight here. What is Simple Simon about? Not gonna make any promises, but feel free to sales pitch it in the chat. I mean, it's in the video. Like, I always have, like, the chat box around here. The reason why I don't make promises with that is because a lot of people have asked that of me, and I don't want to, you know, I guess I don't want everyone to ask that of me, because then it gets a little bit overwhelming to feel like I need to, because I looked at someone else's thing, so why didn't you looked at this guy's thing, why don't you look at mine, kind of thing. So it's nothing personal, it's just I kind of don't want to open that can of worms. But again, you know, feel free to promote it. I don't care too much about that stuff as of yet, as far as like the channel I have is really small, so until it becomes a problem, like if 80 people are like throwing down links and stuff, then I'll probably have to do something about that. But oof. There you go. Ah, I see. It's like one of those Simon Says games. That's cool. I was always really bad at those games. Maybe because I'm just bad at taking direction. What the fuck? Boop. Yeah, like, Chris and I would like to make a game. We can be a little bit over ambitious though. So we're making our own thing, and sometimes you can watch me attempt to make art assets for it on the stream, but we might have bit more than we can chew. But we're definitely gonna try. It's one of those exciting things to just like make on your own. Him and I have never really been in the position of getting to lead the charge as far as art direction goes for any of the projects that we worked on professionally. So this is what so our personal project that we're making together is kind of scratching that itch. So we're pretty excited about it. But it kind of gets on the back burner a lot for other projects because it's just this ongoing thing. Whoosh! Sorry, I moved the video clip. Anyway, it's almost 2 a.m. here. I need to try and make Chris go to sleep, but I'm gonna post this. This is actually for my convention, but I'm just gonna say it's Inktober. So, I'm already behind a day or two. I'm behind 2 days. So, I did the one, and then I took a nap, and then the next day passed. So, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna post this on the Twitter and the Facebook page and all that jazz. But thanks for hanging out again, man, and chatting with me. Makes it a little bit more entertaining than me just kind of humming to myself by myself. Chris ignoring me. Chris, are you ignoring me? What? Nothing. I love you. No, it's 2 a.m., dude, so I'm gonna end the stream. You should go to bed. Silence. Anyway. Oh, hey, Arwen. Sorry, you made it just in time for me to sign off. I mean, thanks for coming to the stream. I had just finished painting my pink Power Ranger girl, but yeah, I'm probably gonna head to bed now. Yeah, hey Chris, they say hi. You're adorable. You said hi. Huh? And happy National Boyfriend Day. So, but yeah, hey Arwen, sorry. Maybe you can check the channel out at probably tomorrow. I might be streaming tomorrow, maybe even during a normal hour. Who knows? Like during the afternoon. I guess we'll see. But yeah, for Inktober, I want to do paintings of food, food that I like, and then also like I think I'll do like every other day. So the first day I did like a pinup girl, that was a witch, and then the next day I'm gonna do like food, like sushi or some shit, and then after that I'm gonna do another pinup girl, probably like a Halloween themed one, like I don't know, Ghost Girl or Frankenstein Girl or whatever. Then after that, do another, food painting, maybe ramen or something. Just all the foods that I like eating because I'm a piggy. So, and then after that, another pinup girl, maybe zombie. I don't know, but yeah. So that is kind of what the plan is gonna be. But I do need to fit in another one of these sugar and spice cards that I just finished. So the pink Power Ranger girl is for my collector cards that I'm making. I do need to make at least one more so I can get that to the print shop ASAP for the next convention. And the next one's going to be Rainbow Bright. So I'm going to be trying to prioritize that if I can, and then work on the other Inktober stuff. So yeah, so that's what's up next for tomorrow. So hopefully I'll check you guys then. Again, I announce when I'm gonna stream on like the Twitter or the Facebook. I get kind of lazy. I used to announce it on Instagram, but not so much anymore. I don't think anyone from Instagram actually goes to my stream, but yeah, again, Twitter, Facebook, Artipre. You'll get the announcements of when I'm gonna start streaming and all that. Alrighty, thanks Video James NZ, and Arwen, if you're still there, I mean, thanks for saying hello to you too. But now I'm gonna have to say goodbye. Alright guys, peace out.